Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Another one for Mario Cristobal, the Miami Hurricanes, as they go back to Miami Central and this time land the leading tackler from the defense last year in three-star linebacker Ezekiel Marcelin. And I think where you want to start with this kid is you love how he's wired for that linebacker position. He comes downhill. He plays with kind of another level of physicality. And you talk about the culture that Miami wants to create on the defensive side of the football. You kind of get the feeling that Ezekiel Marcelin is going to be one of those guys that fits that Miami Hurricanes culture exceptionally well. Now, you look at the measurables, and from what I read, he's closer to 6'1", 220 pounds, which, kind of is that ideal frame for that off-ball linebacker spot. And you dive into the film, and this kid just checks a lot of boxes. I think, one, the instincts are certainly really, really strong. He works through traffic exceptionally well, always seems to be around the football. And then you talk about some of those modern era college football linebackers that we're looking for, the ability to go sideline to sideline, go make plays in the flats, carry tight ends up the seam. Ezekiel Marcelin has that kind of athleticism too. So you start combining, one, how this kid's wired between the ears, and then the athleticism that he brings to the table. I think this is a really, really nice linebacker prospect for the Hurricanes, fired up to get into the film. Before we do it, as always, just want to say thank you to you guys and to the Miami Hurricane fans. This has been the fourth commitment in the last couple of days. I've had a blast talking this program. The amount of support y'all continue to show truly does mean a lot. If you guys do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And without further ado, let's get into Ezekiel Marcelin. I want to just jump right into the film because when you turn on the film for Ezekiel Marcelin, again, I think the film speaks a lot. And the film kind of tells you this is a linebacker that just has a really good feel for that off-ball linebacker spot. And how many times do we see these freak show linebackers that have all the traits in the world, but the traits kind of get wasted because they don't have a great feel for the position. They're not making the right run fits. They're not seeing what's in front of them very well. You look at Ezekiel Marcelin and say, this kid's just always around the football. He makes tackles in space at a high level. He can get downhill, be extremely physical when you ask him to, but also can go sideline to sideline and operate in space. When you take a look at this play right here, playing that traditional off-ball linebacker spot, scraping right over the top, working his way through traffic again, fitting the ball carrier right where it needs to be. I mean, that is kind of textbook stuff from a junior linebacker. Again, operates in space quite well as well. I mean, working through, again, a lot of traffic that's between him and the ball carrier. He's going to find a way to go find the ball carrier and make a play. I think this kid's instincts and the feel for the linebacker position is probably my favorite aspect of his game. And don't get me wrong, this is a guy, we talked about being wired the right way. I mean, he's going to run downhill and he's going to make some plays. And I think that's something that you're really excited about for Miami. As you look at the linebacker play, not necessarily last year. I think Maui Noah and company played really well, but the past couple of years, it probably hasn't been up to par. And I think a lot of it has to do with the physicality in which these linebackers were playing with. Ezekiel Marcelin is that kind of culture guy that you're looking for. We always know the off-ball linebackers, oftentimes kind of the leaders of the defense. Ezekiel Marcelin, I think, combines, you talk about traits, and I wouldn't say he's necessarily the rangiest linebacker, but then you take a look at film like this and say, that's 200 plus pounds linebacker, and he's absolutely cooking. Look at him close the gap here, go sideline to sideline, go make some of those plays. I wouldn't necessarily say he's the most hyper athletic linebacker there is. He certainly is athletic enough, but you see some of those plays and say, lot to like about what this kid brings to the table. Again, doesn't get a lot of confused. Eyes are in the backfield, but he's seeing what he needs to be seeing the right way, fit in the run game, always seems to be in the right spot. And that's a massive attribute for that off-ball linebacker spot. The next couple of reps are kind of what stand out to me the most. You take a look at this kind of play, and this is exactly what we need from off-ball linebackers these days. When you look at how many offenses want to spread you out, make you defend every blade of grass there is on the football field, having a linebacker that can go out, close the distance between him and the pass catcher at an extremely high level, then get physical at the point of attack. We need linebackers that can do that. And if you can't do that at the college football level, you're not going to be playing linebacker, because that is a very necessary trait to have in terms of going sideline to sideline and closing distances really, really well. Ezekiel Marcelin certainly can do that. You take a look at him as a pass rusher. This running back slash H-back doesn't stand a chance in pass protection, going out, finding the quarterback, kind of, heat-seeking missile at the linebacker spot. And again, you start to list attributes that you want as an off-ball linebacker at the collegiate level. You want range. Think Ezekiel Marcelin has that. You want physicality. Ezekiel Marcelin certainly has that. And you want instincts. And I think that's the most important. And you turn on the film and just say, Ezekiel Marcelin has such a good feel for the linebacker position. He's always working through traffic. He's always finding the ball carrier. That's going to be massive for a guy like him starting his career for the Miami Hurricanes. And hey, it sounds like Miami is just getting going. We see the Twitter. I mean, it sounds like it's going to be a very exciting end of the month of June into July for this Miami Hurricanes program. We'll keep you guys updated. Appreciate y'all rocking with it. Appreciate you guys checking it out. If you guys do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you guys. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.